Have you ever heard trees? Have you ever heard of skills? Have you ever heard of what happens when you combine the two together? Well, I'll tell you what happens. You get skill trees. Holy shit! Now, skill trees are popping up in video games left, right and center. Whether you want them, whether you need them or not. They're there. Why? I don't know. Now, needless to say, skill trees kind of suck these days. And I'm gonna look at two examples of two very recent video games that came out this year and go over why the skill trees don't exactly work in these games. Lies of P, pretty good game. Definitely would recommend it to you. If you like Souls-like games, this is probably the best one out there that's not made by FromSoft. Now, the inspiration for Lies of P is, of course, Bloodborne, a brilliant game. And Lies of P kind of copies a lot of what it does, but it still tries and be unique in certain ways. And one of the ways I think it's trying to be unique in is by giving you a skill tree. A skill tree that nobody really asked for. So what's the big problem with Lies of P's skill tree? Well, it doesn't really need one. You see, it feels like NeoWiz had the idea of putting in a skill tree in the game, didn't really understand what to put in it. And you can really tell. You see, in this skill tree, they basically give you stuff that other games like Bloodborne would just give you. One of the big things with this skill tree is that it kind of cheats, in a way. The dodge in Bloodborne, compared to Lies of P, you can tell there's a difference. As a matter of fact, go through a lot of reviews on Steam or Metacritic and you'll see people complaining about the dodge being a little bit not very good. I've actually seen a bunch of people saying that they quit the game because the dodge sucks so much. And they're not wrong, at all. You see, NeoWiz had this brilliant idea of deliberately making the dodge weaker in order for the player to have an incentive to upgrade it, which is kind of stupid if you really think about it. You see, by taking away a basic feature that the other game like Bloodborne would just give to you from the get-go, having to upgrade it for no real reason is stupid. But that's not all. There's a bunch of other skills in the skill tree that, well, it's kind of doesn't really fit there. It shouldn't be there. They give you the option to upgrade your dodge, of course, which is really useful given how bad the dodge is from the beginning. They also give you the ability to upgrade your healing thing. I don't know what it's called. The Estus Flask, essentially, in other video games. Or you could upgrade your special move capacity, or the amount of things some tree gives you, or make the stagger meter of enemies a little bit longer. My point is that these skills vary in usefulness. Some of these skills are things that you look at and you say, okay, this is something I'm definitely upgrading. And the others are kind of like, well, you know, if I have some spare upgrade parts, sure, I'll upgrade it, but there's better things to upgrade. The skill tree in itself is a little bit inconsistent. Not to mention that this is not a skill tree in the game that's there for specific builds. It's basically just a bunch of stuff that the player would find useful. Again, this game has the normal Souls-like leveling up system where you build your different builds. So the skill tree kind of feels out of place. Not to mention that I think there's, much better ways of giving the player this type of stuff. Like, I don't know, just finding them in the world to give you these abilities. I think it would have made much more sense. Starfield. Oh boy. I don't like Starfield. Look, if you like Starfield, that's good for you. I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't like. there's a lot to like in Starfield, okay? I think it will appeal to more casual gamers. But to me, there's a lot I don't like about Starfield. Now again, one of these things that I don't really like about Starfield is, oh, can you guess? It's a skill tree. That's what it's the skill tree. So what's so terrible about Starfield's skill tree? Well, you know how Lies of P basically deliberately makes dodge weaker for you to upgrade it? Yeah, well, Todd and the team had a very good idea of, just not giving you the skills at all. You don't get them. Yeah, you know how most games you can just automatically slide right from the get-go, or the way, other games give you a thing and then you can use it right from the get-go. No, not in Starfield. Sorry, you can't do that in Starfield. There's some puzzling things about the skill tree. I remember getting this the booster pack thing, the jetpack, whatever you want to call it. I thought, hey, it's pretty cool. And then I realized that I had to wait until I level up to use the bloody thing because I needed a perk to use it. Same with the sliding, basic feature that most games would give you. But in this game you need to unlock it. But there's a little bit more of a catch with this whole skill tree of Starfield. You see, you don't just buy the skill. You have to level it up another 3 times. Some of these skills on level 1 and 2 is basically useless. Like seriously. I bought the slide, used it, and realized it's pretty shit. It gives you basic features that other games would just give you from the get-go, and some extra damage buffs and stuff like that. Extra speech checks. Ooh, now you have a better chance of passing speech checks. Yay! The thing is that it's not really that apparent. You don't really feel it. It just tells you you're doing more damage, but it doesn't feel like it. So many skill trees these days, like Starfield's, you don't really feel the impact. I remember seeing Assassin's Creed Valhalla's skill tree for the first time and it gave me a migraine. I mean, there is so many of these skills scattered around that just gives you plus 0.5 damage, plus 0.5 damage here, plus 0.75 damage here. And the thing is, you don't feel the difference. You do not. What's the point of giving all those skills if it doesn't do anything? In addition to that, I think a lot of more linear single-player games shouldn't really have skill trees. I think there are much more effective ways of making the player, get stronger over the course of the game. And I think skill trees are more for RPG type games, not really linear games. Even though I think the newer God of War games doesn't have the worst skill tree, I think that the older games do a much better job of giving you the same thing. You collect red orbs, you level up your weapon, you get a bunch of new cool moves to do. Bada bing, bada boom. Simple, easy, effective. You want to upgrade your health? You look for eyes, things, I don't know what the hell they call. Or you want to upgrade your magic, you get the feather things. You upgrade your health, you upgrade your magic. Simple, easy, effective. It essentially does the same thing that the new God of War games, skill trees and stuff are doing, but just way better. So why do developers throw in a bunch of skill trees which are basically useless? And yeah, even a game like The Witcher 3, which I really love, it's probably my favorite game of all time. Even the skill tree in that, it kind of sucks, given how many skills are there that just basically gives you small buffs. I spend a lot of hours in that game and there are so many skills. I don't really understand what the hell they are meant to do. They suck. Compare that to the new Cyberpunk 2.0 overhaul and the skill tree in that, way better. I mean, the difference is amazing. You can actually build unique builds in that game now. And you feel it. You feel the difference. Yes, they are plus 10% this and plus 20% that, but you can feel it. As long as you feel those numbers, as long as you can feel the difference, then it really counts. So yeah, That's what I've got to say about skill trees. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.